Panthers Nation, what up, though? And welcome back to my channel, or this is your first time watching. This isn't necessarily Bluntness Sports Talk. I do recap and analysis of the Panthers. And in today's video, we have a mock draft. Yes, mock draft 2.0. Now that most of our coaching staff has filled out on the offensive side, we have an offensive coordinator. The vision is starting to get a little bit clearer. I want to attack a new mock draft and just come at a different angle. If you missed my previous one, you can check the playlist, of course, but this edition today, I'm going to be using the Pro Football Focus Simulator. But before we get into that, like I said, my name is Aaron Duncan here. Make sure you are subscribed to the channel if you don't want to miss any Panthers content. I got it coming hot off the presses on most days of the week that end in Y. I'm dropping content. So if you don't want to miss anything, subscribe button, bell icon. But before we get into the actual draft, I want to lay out some assumptions that I'm taking as I operate. That way you know where my mind frame is as I attack this draft. Because these drafts tend to get, the first one's reaction was mixed. Some people liked my draft, some people hated it. I don't understand why people take these so personal, but I understand the emotion attached to the draft, and it's all fun and games on my book. But the assumption I'm going to go under is the positions of needs and some other things as well. Last time we talked about trading up to try to get the quarterback. This time, I'm not going to trade all the way up. I'm going to try to see what happens if I can't get up to number one with the Bears because the asking price is too much. What do I need to do to trade up to be able to get one of the top four quarterbacks? I want to make sure I leave this draft with one of the top four quarterbacks. According to Scott Fitter, also, some other positions of need are edge, opposite of Brian Burns, a tight end that's good at pass catching, some speed in the slot, a ball hawk safety, maybe some speed at linebacker. And my own assumption I'm going to add, of course, is getting some interior O-line depth potentially because we know Brady Christensen got hurt in the final game against the Saints. We also know that Austin Corbett got hurt and tore his ACL, and he may have a little bit on track to be ready, but it may take him some time, and he probably won't be available to start practicing until training camp. So we want to make sure we replenish this offensive line to keep that momentum going that we built up this past season as we took a huge step forward on the offensive line. I also want to add a home run hitter at running back. I love who we have at Dante Foreman and Chuba Hubbard, but they don't get too many yards outside of what's blocked. When I say that, there's sometimes you have to be able to make guys miss and hit that home run. I'm good with taking the singles, the doubles, the triples, getting chunk yardage, but we need a home run hitter that has the long speed to take one all the way to the house. So I'm going to be looking at that as well. All that being said, let's go ahead and get into the mock draft simulator and Pro Football Focus. All right, guys, let's boot it up. I'm in Pro Football Focus PFF mock draft simulator. I got the Panthers chosen at 9, pick number 7. I got to speed down a little bit more just so I can get a chance to be able to make that trade. I want to get up. Hopefully, my target is to get up to number 3 to trade with the Cardinals. They're the one team up there that doesn't really have a direct need at quarterback, and they're going to have a huge value depending on what the Bears do. So let's go ahead and get into it. I'm going to start it, but I'm going to pause it real quick. Jalen Carter goes 1. No quarterback, of course. Bryce Young goes number 2. Now it's time for number 3. Let's make this trade. Give me the 3rd. I'll give you number 9, of course. A pick swap. Let's see what I can get back, though. I want to get a little bit more. See if I can get 100. 105. And then I'll offer a 3rd. So number 9, number 147, a 1st next year, and a 3rd to get a 1st and a 3rd from the Cardinals. They accepted it. All right. So we're up here. Let's go to quarterback. You know what we're doing. We got the pick of the litter outside of Bryce Young. Let's go ahead and get our guy. I'm rocking with Stroud, man. Like I said, to me, he may not be as elusive or the runner that some of these guys are, but he can still dice you up from the pocket. He's mobile enough. I think he's good enough to get the job done. And with our offensive line, if we put some proper weapons around him, with the coaching we have, there's no excuse that C.J. Stroud should not be successful. I don't care what you say about his wheels. We can look at his numbers while we're waiting on the draft to come down. But C.J. Stroud, man, average time to throw 2.92. Pressure rate, set conversion, look, 14.1. They got this thing broken down, man. His pressure grade is a little bit low, but look at his no pressure grade. When you protect him, dude, there's not too many people better. There's not too many people better. And what they say about Trout would say Stroud's the most accurate quarterback in his class. Was his role a pocket passer? They question his poison of pressure. Same thing I said. Everybody's been saying. All right. So round 2. Let's look at where we at. Tight end, no. Edge. We need edge. Tuli to Lapupu to Lapat thing. I'm butchering it. 3-4 defensive end, 3 technique. I want some edge. Tightrope between versatile and tweener. Still he gets line play with being young, understanding physically, finishing plays. 13 sacks, so I'll still leave 16 tackles on the field. Not so much. Felix, I do like him. He's an every down edge. He can handle every down workload. He can improve on setting the edge. Okay, but he has the bend. He's one of the most coveted traits. He can bend the corner. So we have 2 bookends with him and Brian Burns. I like Felix and the DK Uzoma. Definitely have to make sure I get a film breakdown on him. Definitely. All right, so we're moving around. We're back up round 2. Okay. We're picking at 93 again, so let's look at wide receivers. Jalen Hyatt's on the board. That's a tough one. Running back wise, we got some dynamic playmakers there. Do I want to go tight end or do I want to go? Laporta is good after the catch. I love Laporta's game. I love his game. But you still got a decent amount of tight ends on the board. Laporta's probably one of the better ones all around. Iowa, he got that pedigree with George Kittle. He's not a security blanket by any means. Has some hands issues, but he's a seam threat. He has the speed. I don't know, man. That's tough. Do I take the tight end right here or do I go Jalen Hyatt? Jalen Hyatt, we already know Jalen Hyatt. We should know Jalen Hyatt. This dude is speed. He has speed NFL rated, but the rest of his tape shows a project as a route runner. He's not as polished. I got to go with Laporta, man. I got to go with Laporta. Yes, Jalen Hyatt has the speed, but I like Laporta just because of the all-around ability. Like I said, look at this missed tackles force, second in the league. Contested catches, he's solid there. Contested catch rate is a little bit low, and he's not much of a run blocker, but we need him to be a receiver. I'm not picking this guy to block. We good with Tommy Tremble and Ian Thomas. So I'm not picking him to block. All right. So let's go ahead and look at it now. Check safety. Still got 93 and 96. Do I trade back? Maybe trade back potentially. What's the running back? Kendrick Miller. Tajay Spears is still there. I could trade back and still get Tajay Spears. Let's look at wide receiver. I still like this wide receiver group thus far. I'm good there for now. Let's look at linebacker. Dorian Williams, Cam Jones. I mean, there's some good players still left on the board. We're having these. Man, this second round is going to be crucial. It's going to be crucial for the Panthers to have picks here. It's going to be crucial. We can even look corner if we want to, but I still think that I want to look at wide receiver. A.T. Perry's there. He's huge. He could play outside mostly, but I don't know. I may wait on him. See what happens. But safety, Brandon Joseph out of Notre Dame. A little too high to draft him. May have to go linebacker, man. Or get Tajay Spears, a dynamic playmaker. He's big play waiting to happen. He would be RB1 before the end of the year, in my opinion. I'll trade back. I'll trade back to 109. What? Some thirds, fourths. I'm going to offer. They took it. All right. So we're on the draft. 3 more picks. A.T. Perry went out the board, Kendrick Miller, so we're still good. I'm still in position to take Tajay Spears. Boom, right here. Let's go ahead and do it. Went 3 back and still got Tajay Spears. I like it. Adding, like I said, Scott Fitter called it a sexy draft. A sexy draft. All right, let's go linebacker. Sewell still on the board. Let's look at Sewell. He schemes that blitz their linebacker and use them as hole players with coverage services. He's a blitz. If you're not blitzing to 5 or more times a game, you're not getting the most out of his skill set. He doesn't have ideal length. This sounds like Frankie Louvu. It sounds like Frankie Louvu. I don't know if I want to go that route because of that style of play, but that sounds like Frankie Louvu. Cam Jones. I think I'm going to go with Cam Jones here. Or should I wait? Ooh, a lot of places to go, man. A lot of places I can go. Or safety. Brandon Joseph still on the board. See, he plays mostly deep. That's what I'm looking for. A deep safety. Ronnie Hickman can go to DBU. He plays a lot more in the box. Let's go Brandon Joseph. All right. Oh, Zach Harrison went already, so we're back up again. So I went Brandon Joseph. I went safety instead. Sewell went. He just went. So I'm going linebacker now. I'll take Cam Jones here. Don't like it. Don't overthink it. Don't overthink it. We'll be right back up at 132. So remember, interior offensive line. We got our safety already. Maybe we can look corner if we want to. And I feel like I don't put in work so far. Let's get a bruiser. 6'3", 138 on the big board. I'm not really over concerned about overdrafting per se. Let's go ahead and take him. He's a Big Ten offensive lineman. I mean, you can't go wrong with those big dudes. They breed them different up there. So I got my running back already. Linebacker, safety. I got interior offensive line. I need a wide receiver. Wide receiver. I love Xavier Hutchinson. He can play in the slot a little bit, but he's mostly out wide. You can move him around some. He's 6'3", deep, solid size. He had a great week at the Senior Bowl. Great route runner. He's a great route runner. I'm going with him. And one more pick remaining for the Panthers. One more pick remaining. Got a while, though. We're picking, what, in the 6th round? I feel pretty good about what we did so far, guys. Got some bodies, got some youth, difference makers on offense. I got a dynamic running back, a dynamic tight end, a dynamic quarterback, obviously, with the pocket passer. I like what we did today, man, so far. And maybe let's go take a flyer on the corner. Take a flyer on the corner. Should we? Darrell Luter. 6 foot, 190. I'll take a flyer on the corner. Why not? That'll wrap it up. I took a corner late in the round. You can never have too many guys that can cover. You can never have too many guys that can cover. So I took a late round flyer. We'll see what the grade ends up being. I want to get you guys' thoughts, so make sure you leave them down below in the comments. I'm sure you guys have some strong feelings either way about what I did, but I like what we accomplished today. I was able to trade up, and then trade back to get some of those picks back. Those 2 second-round picks that I got for Christian McCaffrey, they came in handy. All right, so let's recap it, guys, because I had a hell of a draft. PFF gave me an A. I want to get you guys grade on mine. Let's look at some of these picks. I was able to trade up into number 3. I just kind of threw some stuff together to the pick swap. I got a 3rd from them, and I gave up a a 3rd-round pick as well. So I got a 1st and a 3rd. I gave up 2 firsts, a 5th, and a 3rd. Not too bad. A+, great trade grade. Got C.J. Stroud at number 3. I was able to get a book in that guy that can bend, and Felix Adenike Uzoma. And then Sam Laporta at tight end. Tajay Spears, one of the best playmakers at running back in this draft. This was a huge steal in the third. He could easily be Carolina's RB1 by the end of the year. Just probably needs to add a little bit of muscle over the years, but I think as far as a slasher, he's fine. Brandon Joseph, I got a good quality safety. Got a C+ on that grade. That's a little harsh. Traded back, got some more picks. Got a linebacker in Cam Jones, who I love. A center. I thought he was a guard for some reason, but we'll do a little Talalomimi just in case that we lose Bozeman and free agency. I got some interior help. Xavier Hutchinson in the 5th, and I took a flyer on the corner and Darrell Luter later in the draft. Overall, a grade 8. I want to get you guys grade from this. Like I said, this is one of the best drafts I've had. Obviously, these simulators aren't perfect and they aren't as realistic, but if the Panthers left with a day like today, bring up 5, getting 9 players in the draft with 1, 2, 3, 4 starters potentially out of this class from day one, this is a win. If you're Scott Fitterer, they need to hire me and holler at your boy. You guys let me know how you feel down in the comments. Make sure you are subscribed and hit the bell icon because draft content season is about that time and it's about to go down. But without further ado, I'm Aaron Duncan signing off. I'll see you next time. Peace.